G'day and welcome back. Today we're going to have a chat about the new Eddie Murphy movie, The Pickup, also starring Pete Davidson and Keke Palmer. Now, I do have some thoughts on it. Necessarily, I'm not going to be rushing out to watch it again, but as usual, I'll leave that up to you guys to decide. It's streaming on Amazon right now, so let's get stuck into it, everyone. So the story follows Russell, played by Eddie Murphy, and Travis, played by Pete Davidson.
Are you all right?
Two armoured truck drivers who are about as mismatched as you can get.
I didn't warm up and I just kicked the motherfucker out.
What should have been a routine cash pickup turns into complete chaos when they're ambushed by ruthless criminals led by Zoe, played by Keke Palmer.
Bring it on down and read the note.
From there, it's danger, bad luck, and clashing personalities all rolled into one wild but very uneven day. Now, don't get me wrong. I feel Eddie Murphy did as best as he could for this movie, considering I feel that the caliber of movies these days that they're pumping out are not up to spec. Like, it just seems like they're pumping out too many movies too quick, and just the level of the movies is just not even like worth watching again. Like back in the day, you had certain movies that you would watch continuously over and over and over, and definitely even certain Eddie Murphy movies. And now it seems like with all the streaming services and everyone just pumping out movies as quick as they can, it's sort of lost that, I guess, yeah, that Hollywood magic. Or like, even though honestly the CGI was pretty terrible in this movie, other than honestly like every now and then Pete Davidson or Eddie Murphy or even Keke Palmer might have had a funny line or did something funny. Other than that, it was a really predictable watch. I actually had my hopes up for it. Sadly, it's enough to say that, because after seeing the trailer and even making, you know, a sort of little short about it because I was excited about it, I thought it might have actually been, you know, a bit more funny or comedic than what it was. It seems like it was a bit drawn out and definitely over the top with the action. Like, I don't know if they were trying to cross like a Rush Hour with maybe Lethal Weapon style, but yeah, it definitely did not match at all. And yeah, Pete Davidson and Eddie Murphy are pretty funny in the movie, but realistically, I felt Pete Davidson was probably honestly funnier with Bill Murray out of Riff Raff, which was not too long ago as well. And then even in it, like, Pete Davidson plays obviously an armoured truck driver called Travis, and it just seems almost, yeah, he's almost got to me almost like Ryan Reynolds, how he feels to me like he's just Van Wilder in every movie, and Pete Davidson sort of just plays exactly the same role, sort of a younger delinquent fella who's just got one thing on his mind pretty much. And yeah, sort of a bit of a big sook too as well when you get into the deep dive of it, especially when you see him in the movie. But yeah, I'm not too sure. I'm not that too big of a Pete Davidson fan myself, but yeah, he did have a couple of funny bits in this one, but not too many at all. And yeah, Keke Palmer, she did all right as well, playing the villain. As I say, like, this movie just, yeah, it honestly, I was excited for it, and then to actually watch it last night, it's a lot drawn out, not as good as what I expected. Had a lot of good funny scenes in it, but just wasn't a good movie all over. Like, Keke Palmer did exceptionally well as the villain, and yeah, her role as the villain was actually really good. Other than, yeah, just in some spots, I just didn't really think that the storyline and the plot sort of just ran out, so they just added some certain things in there, and they just didn't seem to mix up with me. And I'm not alone here. Critics haven't exactly been kind. The Guardian called it the worse than Norbit, Collider said it was dull and lifeless, and Cinema Blend labelled it forgettable. Even on Rotten Tomatoes, it's sinking in the mid-30s. Now, to be fair, some reviewers praised the chemistry between the cast, but that spark just wasn't enough to save the whole movie. But don't get me wrong, there are some pretty hilarious scenes in the movie. Like, one of the ones that I like, of course, was when the armoured truck first gets taken over.
What are they still doing back there, man?
Not sure. I wasn't paying attention because all the crying and snot and shit come.
And Eddie Murphy's the only one defending it while Pete Davidson's driving, sort of screaming, making out that he's tough, but he really is not. And gotta admit, for an old fella, Eddie Murphy still moves pretty good. He did a little bit of fighting, a little bit of kicking, but then I like it afterwards when he's sitting down, he's like, yeah, I'm all good. And then, yeah, starts complaining about the pain, everything is happening because he's old, and yeah.
I look at my leg and my foot and my ankle, my meniscus.
That was actually kind of a funny scene, as well as the interactions that you see between Eddie Murphy and his wife in the movie. That was actually really funny.
Apaga la luz.
Para la luz. I know what that meant. That meant turn out the lights, right? You know, you usually say para la luz, pendejo.
And then there's other like little dabs here and there. Realistically, the funny bits, like as well as when Pete Davidson finally works out, he's a little bit of a spoiler, that the villain Keke Palmer actually set him up, picked him specifically because she knew he was going to be an easy target, and got all the information that she needed out of him for the specific run to take them out.
Sometimes you know who you paired up with, but sometimes you don't. The route goes right through here. You won't see anyone for like an hour.
And once he actually finds out about that, runs it back through his head and has little flashbacks of everything, that's pretty funny to see how he was just, yeah, sort of laying everything out for her after a girl that he's just met.
Pretty simple. Nobody knows about that.
And then there's a little bit of crude stuff about that, but I'll let you watch that movie to see that, because that's a little bit funny there. And I think one of the best scenes I thought was quite funny and showed what a wife would do for her husband is right at the end when I feel that Eddie Murphy and Pete Davidson were about to lose their lives. Eddie Murphy's wife popped up after she was kidnapped by the bad people and actually takes out the bad person that was gonna...
Told you. You fuck with my husband, I will end you.
Kill Eddie Murphy and Pete Davidson and says, I told you, if you mess with my husband, I'm gonna take you out. And I felt that was pretty cool because I relate to that with my wife. I feel she'd come in and save me if I actually needed it. So my final verdict is, myself, I probably wouldn't go out and watch it again. The storyline was pretty predictable. Yeah, there were some funny bits. The cast apparently had a spark, and yeah, I guess you could see that sometimes, but it wasn't the movie that I thought it was going to be. I thought it would be a lot more funny than what it was. It just seems like movies these days that don't really have that magic or spark like they used to that makes you actually want to go, oh, this is one of my favorites and I'm definitely going to put this aside and watch this for the rest of my life. And I've got millions of those movies that I love. And yeah, some of them may be silly, but it just seems in the last maybe even 5 years, all the movies have started to go downhill, and not too sure who's at fault for that. Is that all the streaming services, you know, pushing them away from the big movie companies, or is the big movie companies asking for too much money and then obviously streaming services popping up and pumping out the movies easier? Who knows, but as always, I'll leave that up to you guys to decide. But hey, that's just my take on it. Have you guys seen The Picker with Eddie Murphy, Pete Davidson, Keke Palmer that is now streaming on Amazon Prime? Let me know if you have. Drop something down in the comments. Tell me what you think about it. Yeah, I'm still a bit unsure on it, and if you do drop something in the comments, I will definitely get back to you. I normally reply to every comment that comes up. And as always, I'd just like to thank all my old subs for liking and watching my videos. I'm almost at 1,000 viewers and I'm loving it. And anyone that's new that's watching, don't forget to like and subscribe, and maybe go to my page and check out some of my other videos. You might just like them. And as usual, everyone, I'll catch you on the next one.